Hello everyone, back tuning in today's first video, doing 5-day forecast, today's first video, and this is going to take us through the Christmas period. We're going to go out to Boxing Day with this update, 5 days away of course, on Monday. So, we know we're going to have an unsettled Christmas this year. We're looking at some gale force winds around the Christmas period. Also, going to have some quite heavy rain, particularly so on Friday. And just going to be an unsettled Christmas period as well. Christmas Day looks very mild, but after that it will get a bit colder as we go through into Boxing Day. I'll talk you through the detail in a second, but it certainly isn't going to be the widespread cold and wintry Christmas that I know a lot of you would have liked and hoped for. But have to work with whatever the weather gods throw at us. So we're going to go through 5-day forecast in a second. Before I go on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles on all pages. Have a browse, which is to click through links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you have this page website. Thanks very much for doing that. There's also video ads, both pages, which own content. And when you watch them, I close back up again, it does help to pay for gasworthies.com. Just say later on today, we'll have a look at the GFS, the GFS ensembles, see what they're showing for the new year. We'll have a quick look and see what the trends are, if there is any trends for the early part of January. That'll be with you this afternoon. The website's used for the 5-day forecast coming from the weatheroutlook.com and weathercentral.de. You can find the link to both of those websites on the links page. So this is the radar picture from the Weather Outlook. We'll just do a quick refresh of the page, actually see the very latest. We've had quite a bit of rain up in the northern part of the country today, but still there across parts of Wales and northern England. It is turning more sporadic now. It's moving southwards and eastwards and breaking up as it does so. There are some showery bursts of rain here in the south and southeast. Now these bright echoes up in the north, that's in a different air mass. This stuff down across England and Wales is in quite a mild air mass. This up in the north is in a colder air mass. We actually see whether there's any wintry showers up in the north. It's not showing anything at the moment, but I think these showers could well turn wintry across parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland through the course of this afternoon. Mainly at high levels where we'll have a little bit of an accumulation of snow, but even on some lower levels there might be one or two flakes of sleet or wettish snow coming through in places. So this is the starting pressure chart that we've got today. Very deep area of low pressure to the north of Scotland, bringing in strong westerly winds. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. We've reverted to a classic westerly Atlantic-driven and zonal pattern that's going to carry us through into Christmas. So showery bursts of rain spreading southwards and eastwards across England and Wales this afternoon, with sunshine and showers following along from the north. Turns colder in those showery conditions. Also turns windy. Excuse me, gusts of wind could be up to 50 or 60 miles an hour, in fact, in the far north and northwest of Scotland by the end of this afternoon. Temperatures in the north are going to be getting colder, so there we're looking at temperatures of around 4 or 5 degrees. In the south, it is a mild day with temperatures of around 9, 10 or 11 degrees. Overnight tonight, we'll clear any showery bursts of rain away from the southeast quite quickly. Then England and Wales have quite a dry night. Further north, we'll keep those strong winds going across Scotland and Northern Ireland. They'll feed in further showers, and those showers could again be wintry, particularly so over high ground, but maybe down to lower levels. The worst of the winds will ease off. It's going to be a windy night, but I think we will see winds moderating slightly up in the north by the end of tonight. Temperatures are going to be turning colder, so we're going to be ranging from around, say, 2 to 6 degrees. I think we should just about avoid a frost due to the strength of the wind, but in some frost hollows, there could be ground frost tonight. For Thursday, we actually build a little bit of a transient ridge here across the country ahead of this next area of low pressure. That is the named storm Barbara that's developing in the central part of the Atlantic. There'll still be showers in the north, but they could still be wintry, particularly over high ground across northern Scotland. But many places will have a dry day with sunny spells. And it's going to be a fairly cool day as well. Temperatures about average really, but because it's been so mild, it will feel pretty cold. The temperatures ranging from around 3 to 8 Celsius. There could be a frost in places on Thursday night as well. And then this is what we're facing for Friday. Quite a nasty looking chart, a very deep area of low pressure, which I think has a central pressure of 955 millibars, running into the north of Scotland, bringing heavy rain and gale or severe gale force winds to many parts of the country. And also what is going to happen with this is that although it starts off quite mild, the air will turn a little bit colder. So we start off on Friday with a fair amount of sunshine and maybe some ground frost in the south and east. But from the word go, it's going to be getting wet and windy across Ireland and western Scotland. And we'll find that wind and rain sweeping across the country through the course of Friday afternoon. It's a heavy burst of rain mixed in. But the main feature will be those winds. We're going to be seeing gusts of wind in the south, probably going to 30 or 40 miles an hour. Northern England could be getting gusts of wind around 60 miles an hour. Northern Ireland could be getting gusts of wind perhaps up to 70 miles an hour. And the northern parts of Scotland wouldn't be at all surprised if you see gusts of wind going to 80 or 90 miles an hour. That's in the very far north, which is of course enough to cause damage by the end of Friday afternoon and into Friday evening. Turning colder as well in the far north as the persistent rain clears away, so showers will turn wintry across northern Scotland by the end of Friday evening. Temperature's actually a very mild day, around 10 or 11 degrees. Of course, it won't feel that mild in the wind and the rain. This is how Christmas Eve is looking then. That storm's going off up towards Norway, so that's getting out of the way. This next area of low pressure is waiting in the wings for the Atlantic. This looked like a very nasty storm at one time. It has been downgraded quite a lot, but it will bring a spell of further wind and rain later Christmas Eve and into Boxing Day, into Christmas Day I should say. So Christmas Eve starts off on a mostly dry note with some sunny spells. We get really bad rain overnight, Friday into Saturday, mostly dry start off. We'll have showers from the word going north. They might be wintry over high ground, and then this low pressure will start to bring a further pulse of heavy rain in towards Ireland, some parts of southwest Scotland by the end of the day. Actually, much of southern and eastern Britain probably having quite a decent Christmas Eve for any last minute Christmas shopping. Temperatures will be cooler, about average between around 4 and 8 Celsius. That low pressure runs across the country overnight Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, so we'll start Christmas Day on a very cloudy note. There'll be light patchy rain for England and Wales, and across Scotland there'll be significantly heavier rain. You're going to find a cold front pushing southwards and eastwards across Scotland and Northern Ireland through the course of Christmas afternoon, taking a band of rain south. Now, then introducing colder air from the northwest with showers possibly turning wintry over high ground across central and northern Scotland by the end of the day. England and Wales stays within a very broad warm sector, so here it's going to be very cloudy Christmas Day, very little in way of sunshine, maybe a few brighter sunny breaks in places, but lots of cloud with little bits and pieces of rain coming through. And the main thing will be A, it's going to be quite a windy day. B, it's going to be a very mild day with temperatures across England and Wales ranging from around, say, 11 to 14 degrees. 14 is 57 in Fahrenheit. Really mild Christmas Day. It starts off very mild, actually, across Scotland and Northern Ireland, but it will turn colder there through the day, probably finishing up around 5 degrees, excuse me again, for northern parts of Scotland. And then we finish up on Boxing Day, building this ridge of high pressure in across the country, just within a colder air mass. So have a swiper there from the north across northern Scotland. That could bring snow showers, perhaps to northern eastern parts of Scotland on Boxing Day. The bulk of the country will actually be dry with sunny spells, and those winds will be moderating down as well. What you'll notice on Boxing Day is that it's a much cooler day. Temperatures back down to average, so between around 3 and 8 degrees. Could be a frost on Boxing Day night. Nothing out of the ordinary, but compared to how mild it is on Christmas Day, it will feel quite a shock to the system, I would have thought, by Boxing Day. If I have a look at charts from the Weather Outlook, so we've got a lot of cloud across the country today with a band of showery rain coming south eastwards across England and Wales, breaking up as it does so, introducing colder air and wintry showers to the north. Fairly nice day coming up for Thursday. Again, there could be showers in the north and west, but a lot of dry weather, decent sunny spells, a bit colder than today. Friday is the really nasty one. After a dry start, it turns wet, windy and stormy, with the chance of severe gales up in the north, storm force winds potentially there, and lots of heavy rain driving in off the Atlantic. So quite a nasty end to the week. Christmas Eve brings some more rain into the northwest later, but a lot of dry weather coming through on Christmas Eve. Very useful day, really. Temperature's a little bit cooler, but still on the mild side. Christmas Day looks very mild and wet in the north and west. A lot of dry weather in the south and east, but I think it will be very cloudy. Those temperatures and the strong winds are going to be the main talking point for Christmas Day. Eventually it'll turn brighter and colder up to the north as the cold front clears southwards and take the rain south into England and Wales on Christmas night, and the showers will turn wintry up in the north, and it's all surprised to see some snow at higher levels on Christmas Day afternoon and Christmas night. Then that leads us through to Boxing Day, which looks a much better day. There'll be much more in way of sunshine. A bit colder day, showers will be wintry up in the north, but in the south and the west, lots of dry weather, although it will be a bit on the cold side. So in summary, it's a changeable Christmas coming up. The worst of it looks like it's later Friday, on Friday and later into Friday evening. That's when we get the stormiest spell of weather, but the whole period looks changeable, really. Very mild for Christmas Day and a bit colder afterwards. Watch out for those winds on Friday and Friday night. That's all for now. Come back later on for our look at the GFS ensembles, which will be looking at the early part of the new year. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.